Hello there. It is Thursday, February 26th. I'm Martin Straith from the Trend Letter, and I want to go over a couple items here that we're seeing in the S&P 500 and in silver. With looking at the S&P 500 right now, if we go back a little bit to Liberation Day, and I'm sure you all remember that. That was when Donald Trump decided he was going to add tariffs to pretty much every country. So we take it from the low at Liberation Day through to the low in November 20th, and we extend that up through. You can see now that that trend line has been broken. So the S&P 500 broke through that trend line. You can see it tried to test it a few times, but it's since been unable to, and it's actually been moving sideways and even lower. So if we back up even further here and go back to when COVID happened, and we run another trend line. So we run a trend line from that low at COVID up through the next low. You can see there's a series of them here, right through Liberation Day, that we got a series of lows there. Now, if we extend that up, what we end up with is a nice uptrend channel here. And so you can see that the lower rung of this channel acts as support, and then the upper rung acts as resistance. And you can see from the COVID low, we had this rally, nice rally. It tested the resistance here, tested it again there, and then it all came back, tested support again, tested support again. Another nice rally, didn't get quite up to this key resistance, and then it came back, and then on Liberation Day, it tested that support low again. And then since Liberation Day, we've been having a nice strong rally. We tested resistance here, kind of came back, tested a few times up here. And then now, as we move in, we can see that it's no longer been able to test that support level. So what we want to look at here then is we've got, since the high was in January 28th, so from that point, we have not been able to get anything higher than that. And in fact, you can see that we're actually trending lower now. So this is something that's got us sitting up in our chair to take notice. Because when we see trend lines broken like that, and we start to see things starting to roll over, then we got to pay attention. Now, the other thing is we have proprietary models, and they're starting to show that we are likely to see a correction into sort of mid-March. We could see the low somewhere around mid-March. And so then you go, well, what would that low be? Well, clearly we've got some support levels here and here. The big one for us right now, the first one would be right about here. So we'd be looking about 67.23. Now, if that level were to get broken, then we come down to, you see, after this big correction here, so that would be the next one. So that would take us down to about, what are we at here? About 65.44. So that would be the key support levels that we're looking at near term. And then even if we went down to the 65.44, 45, that's not really much of a correction. And I mean, we can measure it here. If we take it down to that level, you're looking at what? 6.7, 6.8%, which is really nothing. But again, certainly if we do test this, I mean, what we could trigger even a bigger reaction? Well, certainly, got US and Iran. Trump gave his 10 to 15-day ultimatum. We're more than halfway into that now. If they start bombing Iran, things are going to really heat up, and then we could certainly see a much more significant correction. All right, so that's the S&P 500. I want to take a look also at silver. Take a look at silver. We've got, we got some support levels sitting here around 71, 72. We got the resistance sitting about 90, 192, and then we got a more key resistance up about 104. But you can see after that big, 24-hour, almost 40% sell-off, silver's just been bouncing around in here, which is good because it needs to kind of re-energize itself. So what we're looking for now is, what is it going to do? Is it going to be able to break through this resistance level? It's tried it kind of a couple times. What would cause that? Well, of course, if we had some bombing in Iran and gold goes up, well, silver would probably go up too, and you could start to see that, push through there. And if it got ugly, well, then it could go much higher. If things stay calm in the Middle East and we don't get any other black swan events, I would actually suspect that we're going to start to see silver kind of work its way back towards its test level at about 71, 72. All right, so there's a couple of quick ideas. Again, subscribers will get the full picture on Sunday. Every Sunday we publish a full, it's about 70 pages. It's all charts and a few bullet points, very easy to read. If you like these videos, we will start doing more of them. So you can like it, you can subscribe to it, and you can also subscribe to our services if you like. All right, take care. Enjoy the rest of your week. Happy trading, everybody.